most parts of the Jets scouting infrastructure now. What does the Glenn staff look like? What are some names even that you would be excited if he hired, that like you're like, hey, let's give this guy a shot as an OC or a DC? What are names that you're watching there?
Well, what's interesting now with Ben Johnson taking the Bears job today or on Monday is that now, like and I know Ben Johnson has a wider array. You can already hear like he's going outside the Lions' scope for big hires, but still, you could see a world where they're both picking apart at the Lions staff or trying to. So it feels a little like both coordinators are going and they could try to pick at the staff. I mean, JT Barrett's the assistant quarterbacks coach. Mark Brunell is the quarterbacks coach. So for Brunell to leave, also, is Dan Campbell going to promote people? This is actually a three-headed monster. I hate to cop out on the question, but it's so hard to answer because Dan Campbell is losing both coordinators. He already lost Ben Johnson. He's going to lose Aaron Glenn. So there's a world where Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn are going to try to pull people from this staff, but Dan Campbell can also now promote people. So say, for instance, Ben Johnson, and this is just watch his quarterback coach would be like Adam Gase because they're tight. But say he wanted to bring over Mark Brunell, who's the Lions quarterbacks coach, and Ben Johnson goes, I'm going to call the plays. But Mark Brunell, I can promote you to offensive coordinator. You don't have to call plays, but you get the OC salary and title here and, blah, blah, blah. And then Dan Campbell can go, well, I'm just going to make you the play calling offensive coordinator, which is obviously a bigger job promotion wise. And then like Aaron Glenn's sitting there like, what can I can pitch you offensive coordinator and it's your room, but that's a bigger risk than the other two jobs. That's why you look at more assistants. Like JT Barrett is a really young guy. We all remember watching JT Barrett in college very recently. He's only 29 years old, but he's an assistant quarterbacks coach. And he might go, hey, like, AG is going to offer me the actual quarterbacks coaching job with the Jets. I'm going to be responsible in the next 2 years working hand in hand with the draft pick. And that can propel a guy like JT Barrett, who's 29, to being a play caller by the time he's 32 and a head coach by the time he's 34. And that's if everything goes perfect. But like all of us in life, that's how we look at things. If I do this here, I'm going to get to that point, and it's going to be the last step before I get to my end point. So it is, but I mean, yeah, you run through the staff, like Hank Fraley's their offensive line coach. He's probably not going anywhere. Their assistant offensive line coach is Steve Oliver. Like maybe he gets his own room at one of the two places. They have Antoine Randall as their wide receivers coach. Everybody knows Seth Ryan, Rex's son, is the assistant wide receivers coach. You could see like Seth Ryan probably leaves, right? Because if he can get his own wide receiver room with Aaron Glenn or Ben Johnson or somewhere, he's going to take that. But the thing that throws these things out of whack is promotions. Like, once again, people will get promoted from Dan Campbell. So it's not an easy question to answer because it is a three-headed monster picking apart. And that's why the good thing with Glenn, like I'm very positive on Glenn. He coached with the Saints for a while. He played for, like, he has big connections. Glenn is not
well liked around the league.
Yeah, Glenn is not like, hey, I'm bringing over the lowest staff members from the Lions because that's the only people I know. Aaron Glenn knows a ton of people. He'll be hires from everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, look, that, just like we talked about a lot in the pod with how the GM builds out their infrastructure, it's the same thing on the head coach. And all eyes will be on how a first-time coach assembles a staff. And you hope that you're getting sort of a range of different teams and styles. You want voices in the room that are challenging each other and bringing new concepts and styles and ways of playing. And I hope he has a couple, smart game management hires as well to go just with the offensive structure and the defensive structure of how he manages everything. We're talking like he's the head coach. He could very well be the Saints head coach, and we could be talking about, McCown or Flores, or I'm not mentioning anyone else. So it's just what those three are the three that we're talking about. So I think for fans who are skeptical about Glenn, how he pieces those hires together, I think could go a long way to calming concerns. I mean, look, we were all excited when Saleh was picking between McDaniel and LaFleur. We're like, either honestly would be great. McDaniel as an offensive coordinator obviously would have been that much more interesting and exciting. LaFleur was probably a pretty damn good hire, but it just didn't work for reasons that we talk about much more in Streets of Fire. But that was a key one that it felt like at the time, like, okay, wow, all right, that's great that he's getting one of those too. It'd be interesting to see the pot that Glenn is picking from for this overall hire. Do we have any winners yet in the 50-game no touchdown club?
I'm still sorting. It's loading like
I'm still
years
trying to
of data.
sort I'm racking Tecmo Super Bowl. I'm trying to think of these different games and players who it could be, but it's a tough one.
We're gonna get there.
It's gonna go out and score 9 touchdowns next year. I hope it does. So I think that's gonna wrap it for now, CR, because we're gonna be right back here talking about our new general manager and head coach very soon. War Room Reminders Discord show premieres on Saturday. It's going to run every Saturday from now up through mid-April. If you go to the Discord show chat in the Discord, you will see the lineup of hosts. I believe we have anyone but Gase and Ben Rosen co-hosting this weekend. So look out for that one. That's going to hit Saturday along with the rest of our normal content. And as I mentioned on the pod, I want to have the live ticket shows, the live show tickets for sale by Saturday, April 11th, New York City, 7 to 10 p.m. Printers Alley. We're rocking and rolling. We're very excited about how it's coming together, but we want to get those tickets out and moving. So look out for that. Myself, CR, Paul, Will, Dan, Jake, everyone, Dalvin, the whole gang will be there. So you got to come out and hang our first live show. So we're excited about it.
I'm making some progress here, by the way.
I mean, listen, this is the rare trivia that stumps both of us. That I saw the question and I was racking my brain. I'm like, nothing else. There's probably a very obvious one that we're not thinking of. But even Justin McCarron's had some touchdowns. Curtis Conway had touchdowns. It's got to be a Jeff Cumberland would score touchdowns.
Yeah, he would.
People get into the end zone here.
So Denzel Mims played 30 games.
That's a good one. There we go.
Without catching a touchdown.
Not far off. I like that.
Jeff Smith played 36 games. Without catching a touchdown.
He had that one massive game against the Lions, so that was it. All his stats in one game. 2 good call-outs, though.
Yeah, so...
Tebow never scored a touchdown with the Jets. It was only one season. But
I don't think so. Man, we're getting into some really weird names here.
Dangerous hours.
Yeah, no, I know. Here's one. I want to make sure. I'm nervous that he ran for one. Okay, he ran for one. No, not with the Jets.
Wow,
Tommy Bohannon. Tommy Bohannon.
Pro Bowler.
That's right. So Tommy Bohannon did not run for or catch a touchdown, and he played 36 games for the Jets. So
Bohannon and Mims, those are two right up there with. I mean, Ruckert's probably payed 51 games for the Jets now. Right?
Yeah, he's still got them. I'm trying to really sifting. Oh man, here's a really weird one. This guy played 53 games for the Jets. Holder. And obviously special teams come into mind here. But 4-year career, only played for the Jets. Played 53 games for the Jets. I want to make sure. Yeah. So here's a weird one. Wallace Wright never had a touchdown. But Wallace Wright
had a preseason touchdown, but I could see never in the regular season. Yeah.
Yeah,
him and Kevin Swain, the longtime special teamers.
That's the thing. Just special teams guy. Wallace Wright only caught 8 passes for the Jets despite playing that many games for the Jets. So it's not as fun of one. It doesn't really count the same. It's a sneaky one because we talked ourselves into the signing. Ty Montgomery never caught a touchdown for the Jets.
No.
But he played 16 games, which is incredible. Oh man, you are gonna love this one. 40 games for the Jets. I want to make sure he didn't run for one either. Trevon Wesco.
Oh wow,
that's
young
the
Gronk,
one.
4th round pick. This could be the next Rob Gronkowski. And he ended up being decent somewhere else for
he did play 2 more years after the Jets, but he played 40 games for the Jets. He never had a touchdown.
Wow. Well, I mean, Wesco and Ruckert, that's kind of the right bucket to be in together. Man, what a forgettable draft pick, Trevin Wesco.
It's disgusting how
the Trevin Wesco Hall of Fame.
How into this I really am. I just feel I'm the rest of my night. Rabbit hole. This is the king.
We haven't had a good window where there's nothing going on and we can talk about these things because there's just so much news all the time now. But we're we'll get some of these windows in June where we can figure these things out. Wesco and
Man.
Bohannon, those are the two deep cuts I was looking for. Mims was
Those are really, really good. There's a lot of like throwback names that just wouldn't resonate the same with people that I haven't been reading. But this is like, yeah, I'm sure I definitely missed a couple, but those are the really, really good ones, honestly.
Well, just before we embark on the new mark in Glen Era,
Wesco, like that was a jump scare. I was like, who played 40 games and didn't score a touchdown at tight end?
What a draft pick! My God, they've had some picks, man. That you just got to take a minute and be like, how did this happen? How do we prevent it from happening?
Man,
again?
Football people just like the conversations.
Wasn't a seventh rounder? It was like the top of the fourth round, if I recall.
No, it was a real pick. It was a real.
It might have been the Ja'Kai Polite year, actually. What a class!
No, I think he was before it. Because no, you're right. You might be right. Yeah, Wesco was a fourth round pick. He was the 121st pick in the draft. Like that's not
top 125.
It's just the football guys. They talk themselves into these things. It's crazy.
All right, War Room. Get the Discord chatter going. I wanted to at everyone once this hire breaks. If I don't learn about it in the Badlands text chat first, but we're ready to rock. Also, I don't like to get into Jets Twitter like beefing and squabble at this stage because I just prefer the Discord. But
we're old and tired.
For every Jet fan saying that if the Jets hire Aaron Glenn, like I'm going to root for them to lose, and like
That's terrible.
No, you're not. So just stop with the performative nonsense. Like you root for them to win. Let's grow up here. Thank you everybody for listening, and we will talk to you soon.